Mayor, the next several comments have to do with an identical request regarding inclusionary housing. So I will read the identical request once and then add the names, and then I will read the variant comments afterwards.
All right, thank you.
The first comment is from Sarah Patent. This is a public request that the Temecula City Council place the following items on the agenda for the February 23rd, 2021 City Council meeting. Number one, warehouse at Creekside to address the numerous violations of the regulatory agreement and discuss the city's ability to take ownership of the property. Number two, inclusionary housing ordinance. Number three, the attainable homeownership proposal that was submitted to the city in April 2020. I appreciate your time and attention to this very important community matter. With that, Maureen O'Sullivan would also has identical comments for the request to place the matter on the agenda. Jordan Bourbonis has the identical request to place the matter on the agenda. Gordon Ship has an identical request to place the matter on the agenda. Melinda Reyes has the similar request to place the item on the agenda. Kevin Beta has the identical request. Phoebe Fitzgerald, identical request. And George Harris, identical request. In addition to that, Melissa Bourbonis states, dear Councilmember Schwenk, please be a man of your word and make a motion tonight to put Laurel Lamont's proposal for attainable home ownership on the next council agenda. The next speaker is Kelsey Rosendale. She also has the identical request, but also added that her name is Kelsey Rosendale and she's lived in Temecula Valley for the past 27 years. During my time living in Temecula, it has grown to be a safe place where families come to raise their children. However, it has become apparent that only certain types of families are afforded the privilege to live in such place. This place was once known for its affordable housing and easy accessibility for commuters. However, in recent years, housing here in Temecula has not been attainable or inclusive. And then she has the identical request for placement on the agenda. Maura Johnson has the identical request for placement on the agenda. In addition, she writes, I appreciate your time and attention to this very important community matter. This is especially important to me as I am disabled and on unemployment at the time. I will not be able to work until March, and a little rent credit would be very helpful right now. I am a resident at the warehouse apartments and have been in good standing for almost 3 years. The fact that this is continually ignored is a shame. Our city needs to do better for all residents, not just all the Old Town patrons who live elsewhere. Old Town residents are what keep Old Town great. Courtney Sheehan has the same identical request and also states, numerous constituents and advocates have attempted to bring these matters to your attention continually over the past year, and the council has consistently ignored their requests. You, the Temecula City Council, have ignored your duty to serve and administer to the people of Temecula, all of the people of Temecula, not just the wealthy ones. It is time you do your duty and address these matters with voters and constituents instead of hiding from them and hoping they just go away. I personally am very disappointed to see this dereliction of duty on all of your parts. I appreciate your time and attention to this very important community matter, and I expect to see some movement on these items forthwith. The next speaker is Laurel Lamont, and she writes, it has been brought to my attention that the email I sent to all council members on February 1st, in which I requested 3 items related to attainable homeownership be placed on the agenda, was apparently not submitted in a timely manner. This has been an ongoing discussion between me and several members of the City Council for years. For reasons I do not understand, despite numerous requests, not a single council member has taken action or made a motion to place attainable homeownership on the agenda for discussion. I did not take an oath for public service, nor was I elected to represent local workforce constituents. On the contrary, Marianne Edwards, Matt Rons, James Stewart, Zach Schwenk, and now Jessica Alexander took an oath, and were elected to represent these essential, hardworking constituents. I find it interesting that council members take every opportunity during public meetings to brag about what a great job they have done with the affordable housing crisis. However, despite extensive conversations with city staff and council, it appears I cannot get anyone to publicly discuss a well-researched proposal which would assuage the housing crisis. More importantly, my proposal will provide the local workforce opportunities for upward mobility, unlike the trapped circumstances your profit-driven choices have left the local workforce. For the 100th time, I respectfully request you put the following items on the February 23rd City Council agenda. And they are the same items referenced before. And the last comment is from Tammy Acme. Attainable home ownership is important to me because I have friends that work and live in Temecula, and they are not able to afford high quality housing for the wages they earn, keeping our city alive. Landlords in Temecula offer inadequate accommodations for essential workers and have no incentive to do better because our city is not holding them accountable. I am publicly requesting that the Temecula City Council place the following items on the agenda for the February 23rd, 2021 City Council meeting, and they are the same as previously stated. Mayor Edwards, that concludes the public comments.
All right, thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, may I just make a brief comment?
You may, Mr. City Manager. In fact, I have your name written right here.
To the numerous speakers that submitted comments tonight regarding affordable housing requests, I just want them to know they've been heard. Mayor Pro Tem Ron, it was you, I believe, several weeks ago that asked staff to bring back an affordable housing presentation, which staff is working on. Mr. Watson is scheduling that for the City Council on March 9th. So we'll have an affordable housing presentation going over everything we've done to date, everything we have in the pipeline. Also, it's very important to understand the housing element that we're in right now with respect to the general plan update. So we're going to walk the public, walk the council through all that. But again, that will be on the agenda March 9th. So I just wanted to make that clear to everyone that's engaged in this topic.
Thank you, Aaron. I can cross you off the list now. Zach, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I feel like I need to, even though our city manager sort of weighed in on some of those comments, I need to at least acknowledge those. And I actually had some notes, Aaron, so you sort of covered some of the things that I was going to bring up that we're certainly talking about. And I know there's quite a bit of frustration just with respect to housing and really how slow the process is on a lot of this stuff. And, you know, we try to have comments and conversations over the years, and, you know, it's certainly a complex issue. Just trying to, you know, move some of this stuff forward in this space. And one of the things that I want to piggyback on, and I'll bring it up at our next meeting when we do have that update, because I think it's important to that we continue to engage some of the community partners, and specifically Habitat for Humanity. I think they do wonderful work in our valley for that attainable home ownership for sale product for families. And I've had some conversations with their executive director and just sort of gleaning what they know and some of the visions that they have. So if and again, I'll bring this up at the next meeting, but you know, Mayor Pro Tem Ron and I sit on that affordable housing subcommittee, and perhaps we could have the executive director come to one of those meetings and just have this sort of robust conversation about a lot of the things that we're hearing in the community. And what can we do, and what should we do? We certainly have a lot of work to do in this space, and I think there's a lot of opportunities that maybe we leave on the table sometimes, and I think we need to try to make some moves on some of this stuff. So, and then just with respect to, you know, I know Director Watson and his shop has done a great work, just sort of mediating between some of those concerns. I know I've been copied on quite a few emails in Luke's sort of covering those bases of some of those concerns that are brought up. But as they keep coming in, maybe those are things we need to continue to revisit and have that conversation about. So that's all for me, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Stu, Matt, nobody? Jessica, no? All right, then we're gonna move ahead.